Play ball.
There's me and Obi. No, there's Obi and me.
Yeah.
Play ball.
Good evening, folks. Welcome to the 34th Annual Hot Stove of Santa Clara Valley. Need your undivided attention. Anyway, there's a few people I must mention before we begin. Number one, the guy that started this whole event, Mr. Jim Hemphill, 35 years ago, went to the Cupertino School District, and if it weren't for him, we wouldn't be here tonight. Thank you, Jimmy. Ron Reynolds, where are you? 34 straight years of having a table. We also have Linda Pereira. I don't think she's missed one either. And by the way, she at one time won the Kathy Wolf Award for the woman in baseball. Anyway, I'd like to introduce the committee. Number one, I am the prez, and vice president is our illustrious former Midi coach, Bill Hutton, and also a renowned former Cleveland Indian, Sandy Woodall, and our attorney, Jason Pintar, and our CFO, Mr. Roberto Maragoni. And we have another couple of people that are here tonight. But anyway, I just want to tell you this is a great event. It'll be a wonderful evening. And the food is great. We had to kind of move tables around a little bit tonight because of fire restrictions. But anyway, please don't complain. And again, what we do is we'll have the head table go first. This gentleman will go first. And then the lower table, and then the Marquez family. And again, we thank you for coming to honor this wonderful coach and a lifelong baseball guy, and what he's done for this valley is unbelievable. And we really appreciate it. Mark, thank you. Okay. I would be remiss, and everybody in this room knows I'm not a techie, but if it weren't for Margaret Obenour, this event wouldn't happen. I'll tell you right now. Margaret, stand up. Come on. Well, she's in the front giving out tickets. But anyway, she's put 120 hours into making this successful. Anyway, I'm going to turn it over to Bill Hutton. Okay, JB, you take the phone. Microphone.
Oh, I'll be speaking plenty tonight, but I think I'm the only one staying between us and dinner, so I'll keep my my introduction short. My name is JB Long. I think this is the third or fourth, maybe fourth year that I've had the honor of being the MC. Yes, I do live in Los Angeles, which I know is not a feather in my cap at the moment, but I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, went to Bellarmine, played for Coach Cunningham, have been a long-time connection to this valley and to the baseball community, so thanks for having me back. It's a good excuse to come up north where I still have family. In fact, my wife and son were just with my parents in Woodside over the weekend. My wife was up for work, and she brought our son, who's a year and a half, and as I've been telling people, is learning a new word and a new opinion every day at this point in his life. And so I was anxious to see what he learned from his grandparents, who raised me to be a Giants fan when he came home on Monday. It turns out he's stringing words together now. Go Giants is one of them, and Dodgers yuck is so I think they're a little bit concerned about my loyalties having moved to Southern California, but it's great to be able to come back here and to celebrate baseball, the year that was and certainly the 2018 to come. So I think I lead the way to the dinner table. I will step aside and we'll talk to you after you've had a bite to eat. Thank you very much.
I'd like to personally thank JB for coming back again. Some of you may not know he's the voice of the Los Angeles Rams. He's working for the Pac-12 network calling basketball games. He's doing the Cal game tomorrow. He works for the Pac-12 network, calls college baseball games, and he's working a special gig with Intel, broadcasting one major league game a week on virtual reality. So he's got a lot going on. Local guy, lives in Los Angeles, comes up to help us out. So if we could give JB a warm welcome. We're lucky to have him. We'd like to start the evening by bringing up a quick little discussion from the Giants and the A's, and then the three Division I schools in the area, and then we'll begin the awards. So I'll turn it over to JB from here. We've got a lot of wonderful people to recognize tonight, so I hope you can buckle your seatbelts and get ready for an exciting couple hours. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Appreciate that. And looks like we got Bobby Evans in the on-deck circle already. So let's dive right in. If you would come up and lead off. It's been a little bit of a week, as you might have read, for the San Francisco Giants as they look ahead to 2018. So to give us a look behind the scenes at how it all went down, if you could welcome the general manager, Bobby Evans. Thank you.
Well, thank you once again to the Santa Clara Hot Stove Committee. I mean, great event. We enjoy it every year. Our San Jose tables are represented. Our scouts, certainly great support for this event. And congratulations to all the award winners tonight. It's a pleasure to be here. We have had a very long off season going back to June of this past year. Our off season began, and it was unfortunate for us to have such a long off season, and it's been quite a grind, as you can see from the number of free agents still out there. And we sit in amazement just as much as they do as to why there's so many guys still unsigned. But maybe the paralysis by analysis, or maybe just the fact that the big guys have not made commitments yet will ultimately allow some of those lower level free agents to get their deals done as well, mid-market free agents. But we anticipate, as many of you would expect, the big guys will get their years and dollars. And for us, we've been more active on the trade front just because there's so many options out there. I think for us, unusually so on the free agent market, where we've been more used to dealing just from the free agent side. And we looked at so many different things about our club from 2017 that needed to improve, and much of that is just guys being healthy, and much of that is guys returning to more their norm and their normal ability. But we have to provide an environment where they can do that, and some of that's improving our lineup, and that really and improving our defense, and it makes our hitters better, makes Buster Posey better, and Brandon Crawford better, and etc. But improving our defense helps our starters, helps our relievers, and gives us a better chance to compete in a very tough division that's only getting better, as you've seen from the Dodgers and the Rockies and the Diamondbacks. And the Padres, being young, are still working their way towards being tough as well. And so you never know in our division as we play so many games against some very good teams. But for us, we looked at right field, center field, and third base as primary targets. We satisfied third base with Evan Longoria, and just recently Andrew McCutchen in right field. And it does require a move to Pence into left field, but we'll continue to work on center field. But a San Jose Giant, Steven Duger, it certainly has our eye, and at some point maybe our center fielder sooner than later. But we'll look at the free agent market and trade market continued, just in case there's something that can help us more immediate. But again, we appreciate the support of this event, and we're proud to be here, and thank you guys for your attention. Thank you.
And across the bay, I've already had a chance to speak with Ken Klorak tonight, gearing up for another trip to spring training, the A's play-by-play voice, and also an author. I'm sure many of you have had a chance to read his book on the life and the broadcasting career of Bill King. Ken, welcome.
Thank you, JB. It's great to be here. Wow, what a great crowd this is. This is really a special thing for me because I might have spoken at the first one of these, at least one of the first two or three. And so to come back to the South Bay, I'm old, but 1985, I got hired to do San Jose State football and basketball. So that's how far I go back with this group here. And it's so wonderful to see so many people and old friends, Sam Ferraro, and great that the scouts are being recognized. You guys are the backbone of the game. I have to mention one more scout, Will Schock from the A's is here. And sorry, Coach, I had to get a Cal guy in there, you know. And but speaking of Stanford, I know last year at this banquet you honored Stephen Piscotty. And we're so thrilled that Stephen has come back to the Bay Area to play for the A's this year. The circumstances weren't the greatest, as you may know. His mom was diagnosed with ALS. And so, listen, the Cardinals didn't give him to the A's. But as Billy Beane said, it was one of those deals that came together for all the right reasons that Stephen's been able to come back. He went to high school in Pleasanton. He's living there right now with his family. And so I know how special it is for him to be back and for his mom to be able to come go to the games and for his family to be here. So, and Stephen is really part of a young core of players with the A's that we think has a chance to really be good this year and blossom. The A's had a very good September, and I know they say in baseball don't fall in love in September or March, but better than 500, and the young players that we hope will really form a foundation for the team, like Matt Olson, who had an unbelievable, he was on fire when he got called up in the second half. And Matt Chapman at third base, and Marcus Simeon at short, who I know tormented you guys when he was playing for the Bears. Jed Lowry back at second base, the Stanford guy, as you know. And the farm system, including this guy right here, B.J. Boyd, who I know you're going to hear from later tonight, batted .323 this year in the Texas League. And it's always great to have a local product working his way up through the A's system from Palo Alto. So it's great to have you, and it's wonderful that BJ is going to be honored here tonight. Pitching staff comes back almost intact. So, we were talking earlier today about maybe some comparisons to 1999, which was when the A's really started to get good, and you had Giambi and Tejada and Chavez and the big three. I'm not ready to put this group of players in that category yet, but there's a lot of excitement, and what has happened over the last couple of years, really the foundation being built with a farm system that has been bolstered with some very good players. So, and on a personal note, it's just been such a thrill for me as someone who moved to the Bay Area in 1979 to think that I'm going into my 23rd year broadcasting for the A's. And thanks for the mention of Bill. And one of the highlights of this year was being in Cooperstown in July when Bill King was inducted into the Hall of Fame. And for those of you who've listened to Bill and heard him do the Warriors and the Raiders and the A's, I know all of you share in the joy that we had being back in Cooperstown to see that great honor bestowed on Bill. So thanks for coming out tonight. This is a great group, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Another great tradition that we have here at the Hot Stove Banquet is to preview the upcoming college season. So if I could call three local coaches to the platform here, and we'll just preview their year ahead. Rusty Filter for Santa Clara, David Esker moving across the bay back to Stanford, and Tyler Latorre for San Jose State. We'll kind of just pass the baton here, and you can give us a look ahead to your upcoming season.
Okay, I'm Dave Esker, new head baseball coach at Stanford, and pretty excited, obviously, getting a chance to come back home. Played at Stanford from 1983 to 87. Was fortunate enough to be a shortstop on the national championship team in 87. Coached with Coach Marquess as an assistant coach from 90 to 96, and then getting a chance to come back to my alma mater, to my home, back to my roots is, beyond words. I'm real fortunate that Coach Marquess definitely did not leave the cupboard bare for me at Stanford this year. We're fortunate Chris Bubich, local product out of Mitty, is back to pitch on the weekends, as is Tristan Beck. We're going to feature one of the best middle infielders infields in the country with Niko Horner and Duke Kinnaman. We have some young players and some freshmen will come in. It'll help us right away. So pretty excited. Although in the Pac-12 this year, there's there's no soft spot. I mean, it's going to be pretty bloody in our league with Arizona and Oregon State, who had a tremendous year last year. UCLA will also be very strong. But really looking forward to the challenge of our season. One other thing that Coach Marquess didn't leave was a soft schedule, because we open up at Fullerton. We play Texas on the road. We've got Michigan coming to Sunken Diamond, as well as Rice University. So we play tough teams all preseason, and then the usual suspects in the Pac-12. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Rusty Filter. I'm the new head baseball coach at Santa Clara University, and what an awesome experience for me. I've been to this event. I was Coach Marquess's assistant for the last 8 years, and I've been coming to this event now. This is my 9th time, and it only took 25 years as an assistant to finally get the mic in my hand. So I got quite a bit to say. No, I'm just kidding. I think representation here of this area, and so much good baseball has come from here. There are so many good people involved in the game, and I came here 8 years ago after spending 17 years at San Diego State, and I really feel like the area has opened its arms to me and to my family, and I really feel at home here, and just really blessed to have been given the opportunity by Renee Baumgartner, our athletic director, to lead this special group of young men. Coach Esker, that scheduling, as Coach Marquess used to tell me, if it goes great, you did it. If not, Thomas, you screwed it up. So this year's baseball team, we're inheriting a great group. We've got 15 seniors in the program. A very, very mature approach to practice. Expectations, I don't know. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you, we're going to win a national championship. What I'm going to tell you is we're working on competing daily. My coaching staff, I feel really fortunate to have put together a group that shares my vision. We're showing up daily and taking a blue-collar approach, and we're giving everything that we can to these players to help them achieve their goals and help Santa Clara win baseball games. So I look forward to seeing a lot of you guys out at games. Congratulations to all of you who are being honored tonight. Don't take it lightly. It's a great honor, and go Broncos.
Hello, my name is Tyler Latorre. I'm one of the assistant coaches at San Jose State University. It is such an honor to be up here today, and I texted Obi when he let me know that I would be speaking. I told him it was a true honor. I'm from Santa Cruz, California. I'm kind of a Bay Area product. I played for the San Francisco Giants Farm Club. I played in San Jose, so my roots are here. It's good to be back. This is my first season with the Spartans. We're really excited about the season. We had our first kind of team practice. Although it was only 20 minutes long, it was one of the highest energy practices we had from the fall till now. We're really excited about the season. We've got Northern Colorado coming in on February 16th, followed by a Tuesday game against the Broncos. So we're looking forward to that. And a little bit different about our conference, the Mountain West, is we actually play all of our teams twice. We have a home and home. So we get right into conference in the third week of the season. So we're pushing ourselves as hard as we can. We're moving forward, and we're looking forward to that first game at Muni Stadium on February 16th. We've got a great mix of seniors and a really good group of young players that are working tirelessly in the weight room. We set out a goal in the fall to have a 3.0 team GPA. We far surpassed that goal, and we're going to keep moving it forward. So the Spartans, who are in attendance, I know there are a lot of alumni. You guys have a lot of great things coming to the Spartan program, and I know that you guys deserve it. One of our players is here tonight getting honored, one of our sophomore catchers, who has really blossomed over the fall in a leadership role, taking care of the pitchers. It's been a pleasure to work with them, and you'll have more of those players on the field this year. So thank you very much, and congratulations to everybody here.
All right, so now we will dive into the awards portion of our program. Before we do, I was reminded as they clear all of our plates, if we could just thank the men and women who prepared our meal tonight and who are cleaning up after us. Thank you very much. All right, so we'll start in the prep ranks and kind of work our way up. We'll deviate from your program just a little bit to accommodate some red-eye flights and make sure that we have a chance to speak with everyone on our program. And we begin with our prep player of the year from Westmont High School and head coach Tony Pianto. Hunter Skilperort led Westmont to a CCS D1 title as a left-handed pitcher and a first baseman. A couple of victories on the mound in the CCS playoffs, including a no-hitter against Santa Clara. He also hit .449 his senior year, was the CCS Player of the Year according to the Mercury News, and he's playing this year at West Valley. Hunter, come on up. Congratulations.
Hi everybody. I hope everybody having a great night. It's a huge honor to be here. And again, well, first of all, I want to say thank you to the committee. This is huge. Thank you. This is awesome. And then to, of course, my teammates who are all sitting in the back over there laughing at me right now. Couldn't ask for a better group of guys to play with. It was an unbelievable season, and I hope you guys are the best this year. And now, of course, coaches who have always been there for me and helped me through the years, and family. Always been there, got me through the hard times, and always pushed me to keep going forward. And most importantly, my mom, always been there, love her to death. So, thank you.
Our community college player of the years could not be here tonight, but we understand their parents are in attendance. So Drew Mountain and Andrew Carter, if your mom and dad are available to come up and receive the award for these individuals while I give you a little bit of what they accomplished. Starting with Drew, going to Kansas State by way of Archbishop Mitty and De Anza. Drew led the Golden Gate Conference with 9 home runs, hitting .333, 23 extra base hits in 39 games this year. And Andrew Carter, on his way to Faulkner University in Montgomery, Alabama, started at St. Francis by way of West Valley. Two-way player for them. And Coach Rick Waynes, he hit .372 for the season, also threw 34 innings on the mound for the Vikings, recording a couple of saves. So family members of Drew and Andrew, if you could help collect the awards and send our best to them, that would be great. Okay, we'll continue with our Lloyd Christopher Award winners. If you look for more in your program, some of the details include a $500 scholarship grant to each school for the student athlete represented here. Goes to a walk-on who overachieves for his team each season. And our first honoree is Niko Horner for Stanford, who wound up being all Pac-12, as well as all Pac-12 defensive team. Started all 58 at shortstop for the Cardinal. Hit .307, .406 slugging, .357 on-base percentage. So Niko Horner, our first Lloyd Christopher Award winner.
Thank you to the committee, first and foremost, for the award. As someone from Oakland, it's really great to see all the faces of Bay Area baseball in one place. It means a lot to me, as there's a lot of people here who have contributed to this. In particular, I'd like to thank the previous staff at Stanford, John Karsich, Rusty Filter, and of course 9, you guys will hear from later. These are the people that gave me the chance to play college baseball and helped me develop over the last 2 years, so I'll forever be grateful for that. And then next, just shout out to the new staff of Coach Esker and Tommy's here, and Coach Eager, who've made the transition into my junior year pretty seamless, and definitely excited for what 2018 has in store. And thank you again.
Representing Santa Clara, our second Lloyd Christopher Award winner, Nico Holm, played in 52 games, started 48 of them, splitting time as a DH and a right fielder. He recovered from a slow start at the plate to have the best on-base percentage on the team at .443 and the number 2 batting average over .300 at .307. Was walked 24 times, also hit by 15 pitches. That was top 50 in the nation. Nico transferred to Santa Clara from Palomar Community College in San Diego. Nico, our second Lloyd Christopher Award winner.
Hi, everybody. I just would like to first off say thank you to the committee for putting on this great event and allowing me to be here with all these great players, share their stage with them. And I'd also like to say thank you to Santa Clara University for giving me the opportunity just to further my academic and baseball career. I'm really excited about this senior season. We got a whole new staff in. Should be a lot better. Should have a lot of fun this year and really compete. So go Broncos.
And lastly, Johnny Mendoza from San Jose State, a sophomore catcher, where he majors in sociology and hopes to become a detective someday. He's gone from walk-on catcher to a player who's going to see significant time in the lineup this year. Johnny also maintains a 3-point GPA in the classroom. Attended St. Francis High School in Mountain View, where he lettered for 3 years on the varsity baseball team. Johnny, if you would come up and join us and receive your award.
Good evening to you all. I'd like to thank the Hot Stove Committee for this award. I appreciate it. Give a shout out to San Jose State University. Appreciate the opportunity you've given me. You don't see many 5'7" catchers at the D1 level. Thanks to my parents. Appreciate everything you do. Thanks for being in my corner through all the ups and downs. Thank you again.
All right, so here's where we're going to jump around just a little bit, and we'll go on to our College Player of the Year, who is Quinn Brody, drafted by the Mets in the 3rd round after a stellar season at Stanford. He was a 3rd-team All-American and a National Player of the Week during his 2017 campaign, Pac-12 Player of the Week a couple of times as well. Hit .314 with 11 home runs, 51 driven in, and ended up leading his team in average home runs, RBI, slugging, total bases, and triples. So he has a flight to catch. We wanted to bump him up in our lineup. Quinn Brody, our College Player of the Year.
Thank you very much to the committee. It's really an honor to be here with all these guys and a lot of people who I've been around for the last 3 years. And I'd like to also give a special thank you to Coach Marquess and Coach Filter for believing in me as a high school junior and allowing me to come to Stanford, where I spent a really influential 3 years, not only as a baseball player, but as a person. It allowed me to grow a lot and learn a lot. And I've taken a lot of those lessons on with me to, my first season with the Mets. I'd like to thank those the Mets staff who were here for the opportunity they gave me. And I'm continuing to learn and continuing to take everything that I learned these 3 years here in this great baseball community and take that with me to help me as a person, as a player, and just appreciate those relationships that I've made and take that with me through my career. So thank you.
All right, we also want to honor our Scout of the Year, who is on his way to the airport for a red-eye to Philadelphia, Joey Davis. 18 years in scouting, the last 14 for the Phillies. He signed 4 players who made their major league debuts with the Phillies this past season, including sensation Rhys Hoskins. Joey was also the winner of the 2017 Dallas Green Award. That goes to the professional scout that best demonstrates loyalty, work ethic, dedication, and passion. It's a recognition of a scout's ability to judge not only a player's talent, but also his character and heart, and he has done very well for the Phillies in that regard. Welcome, Joey Davis.
Thanks, JB, for the kind words. This is quite an honor. It's great to be here tonight. I've been in the area for about 14 years, and this is probably my 10th banquet. And I really enjoy coming here, and I'm sitting there watching all my buddies win these awards, and I'm saying, how in the heck can I ever win this award? And like 10 years, guys won the award, so there's 30 scouts. My math's not great, but 19 more years, I got to come down there, and I'm thinking, and I got to wait till I win this. But Coach Hutton, appreciate you speeding up the process. I appreciate it. They say timing's everything. An example of bad timing is you bring your scouting director to the park and you're watching a hitter and he goes 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. And a good timing is winning this award the same night as Coach Marquess is being honored because he fills up the room. So I appreciate you for the big crowd tonight, Coach. I want to talk about my brothers over here, my scouts. They've been ragging on me for a couple weeks about this speech, and so I've been trying to put a lot of time into it, but I'll keep it short, Coach. These guys are the motivation. They keep me going. It's competition, but it's friendly competition. You start to think about this. I got my girlfriend I spend most of my time with, but my family's in Ohio. My daughter's in college, so she doesn't have time for me. So other than my girlfriend, I spend most of my time with these guys right here. So we spend a lot of time together. Every day I'll wake up and I'll get ready to go to the park, and I'll try to get in that car. My back's a little bit sore, and you got that sciatica kicking there in that hip. And I think about Tommy Davis. Tommy's it's an honor, Tommy, for you to be here tonight. I appreciate it. This guy's probably seen more baseball than anybody here. And that guy wakes up every morning and gets in that pickup truck of his, a little small pickup truck, and off he goes to the game. So I think about Tommy, and I don't have a problem getting in my car going to the game. These guys definitely do this job for the love of the game. They definitely do not do it for the financial rewards. I've yet to, this is my 19th year of scouting, and I've yet to meet a wealthy scout. So they definitely do it for the love of the game. It's a as most of you know, it's a timeless job, especially in California. Working almost 11 and a half months out of the year. We were at Stanford, Stanford's loaded, and we were there, I think, November 16th, and it was a night game. The guys played at night under the lights, and I'm sitting there thinking I grew up in Ohio, and I'm thinking back, I'm wondering what they're doing in Ohio, and my first job was in New York. That was the only opening. I went up to New York and scouted in the Northeast. And I'm thinking, now I know on November 26th they're not out watching baseball, so it's a timeless job, and it's never ending, and it can be a thankless job as well. I've got a couple buddies, and they asked me they want to get into scouting, and I said, I go, no you don't. I think 3 years now I've went without getting a player, and that's tough. Man, that's a punch in the gut right there, where you drive down to Porterville and up to Reno and up to Redding and Eureka and into the Bay Area and fight all this traffic that we all know about. And if you don't get a player, that's really hard. So it's a thankless job. But don't get me wrong now. We love what we do, and we love the game, and that's why we do it. We do have a lot of fun, though. We squeeze in some fun. I tell you, I've golfed with a lot of these guys down here. And other than Joe Graham, you guys, I'm glad you don't golf for a living. So keep the scouting job. Now, hunting's a different story. We got a couple guys that could actually give up their job and be a professional hunter. I don't know, Rich Bordy and Mike Sanso, I'll tell you. You guys could, you're fine if you forgo your scouting job. These guys are professional hunters. One real quick story and I'll take off. I do got to catch that flame. The Phillies are so bad. We got so much work to do. The Giants are signing Longoria and McCutcheon, and we got meetings tomorrow, so we got to get out. We got a lot of work to do. But one time we're in Chico, and Mike's the leader. He picks out the spots, and he calls in the birds. And the ducks fly in. He's got the dog right there waiting. Man, these ducks come 10 feet away. I mean, you can't miss this shot. And Brian Byrne, I sit by Bernie. He's my partner in the middle. We give each other encouragement. Hey, Joey, you can do this. Hey, Bernie, don't miss this shot. You can do it. And so he's an important part. And then Gabe Zappin's not here. He's the guy that brings the gun. He's my right-hand man. I'm a rookie hunter. So Zapp brings the gun. So we have a lot of good time with these guys golfing and hunting. One last thing. Scouts, we deal with numbers, okay? And we have grading scales for everything. And we grade everything. We grade what a scout is, what kind of shoes he wears. And it's just crazy what we grade. So our scales, 30, 40, 50, 60, okay? 30's low, 40's below average, 50's average. Now, that's major league average. So 50's a good number. That's what we're looking for. And 60's above average. So we grade all kinds of things. I don't know if some of you guys have been to the Renaissance Club Sport, Renaissance, the Marriott in Walnut Creek. That's a 60. That's a 60. Parking at Sac State. Well, they got a 6-story garage out in left field, and the parking, you have to have a parking pass, you get a ticket. The parking pass is on the 6th floor. That's a 30. That's a 30. I could go on and on, but once again, it's a grind, but we do have a lot of fun. I'm here tonight because, as JB said, I had 4 players make it to the big leagues, all 4 with the Phillies, and no matter what anybody tells you, other than getting married and having a child, my daughter, when the guys make it to the big leagues, it's the best thing that can ever happen. I'll never forget the kid from Reno, Drew Anderson. I got him at a small high school in Galena up in Reno, and he's in our AA rotation. And his dad texts me, sends me a text. He goes, "Hey, Drew got called up." And I said, "Oh, good. He's going to be to AAA. That's great." And he goes, "No, he got called up." And I'll never forget that moment. It's a big moment. Andrew Knapp, I can see it right now. Cal Berkeley kid. His first base hit's a 95-mile fastball off Steven Strasburg. Never forget that moment. And it took Reese Hoskins 10 at-bats to finally get his first hit. He got called up on August 10th, and he ended up hitting a lot of home runs. So it was a great year, and I was lucky and I was very fortunate to meet those guys. So other than that, I'll let you guys go. I really appreciate it. And this banquet tonight and this evening for me, it's a 60. Thank you.
Wish Joey and Quinn a lot of luck at TSA and hope travel goes smoothly tonight. We're back on schedule, and if you'd like to follow along with the program, feel free to. We'll pick it up with College Pitcher of the Year. And if you haven't already, now would be a good time to pass that tray of brownies around your table, which I know some of you are enjoying. John Gavin attended Cal State Fullerton and was drafted in the 8th round by the Giants. Also a St. Francis High School product, like many of our honorees are tonight. And throughout the years, he helped Cal State Fullerton to the College World Series this past spring and summer, and finished the season with an 8-2 mark, a 2.67 ERA with 89 strikeouts in 101 innings of work. John Gavin is our College Pitcher of the Year.
There's a lot of people in this room I need to thank, so I apologize if I forget you. But most importantly, thank you to the committee. This is an awesome event every year to bring people together that love baseball and love the Bay Area. Thank you to my mom, who was the person clapping when Fullerton's name was said, so sorry, Coach Esker. My dad, who's sitting over there as well. Thank you to Obi over there. So many people from St. Francis are in the room, so I got to thank them. Mrs. Tennant, Mrs. Miller, Mr. Bradford, thank you so much for making St. Francis arguably the 4 best years of my life. Thank you to Bish and Trev, who mentored me and turned me in from a very immature child to a less immature child. And so thank you very much to all of them. I am also thank you to Fullerton Baseball, because I would not be accepting this award if we didn't have the run that we did. Thank you to everyone else. I'm really sorry. There's so many coaches in here that have such a big impact in my life, and I wish I could name you all, but thank you so much. Very last point, Coach Marquess, thank you so much for everything you did for college baseball. I was on the other side, so I never got the pleasure to play under you, but it was not fun playing against your lineup and throwing to them. It was not a pleasant sight, but here's to both of our golf games getting better in the near future.
In addition to John, we have a second College Pitcher of the Year award to give out this evening. It goes to Colton Hawk, who attended Stanford this past season before he was drafted by the Marlins in the 4th round in June. He was the National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association All-American First Teamer, All Pac-12 along the way, 6-1 with a 2.08 ERA in nearly 48 innings of work. And I'm told if you took away one of those outings, his ERA dipped to 0.95 as well. School record 16 saves, led the nation, second in school history with 25 in his career. So our second College Pitcher of the Year, Colton Hawk from Stanford.
Thank you all for having me out. Can you hear me all right? There it is. Okay, thank you guys for having me out tonight. I just want to thank everyone at the Hot Stove, the whole committee, for putting on this event where we're the whole auditorium deep, and we got some of the great baseball minds, baseball players in this room right now. And I'm just going to say, John's being extremely modest by saying he wanted to play for 9. He kicked our butt every single time he played against us, so he definitely took that a little hard. Just that long way. I'm sure he wanted to stay in the Bay Area, but he did a great job at Fullerton. So it's an honor to share that award with him. And along with that, I'd just like to thank the Lord. If we had all night, I'd sit there and I'd tell you how I made it out to California from a small town in Pennsylvania, but we don't, so I'll keep it at that. So thank him, and thank my coaches. I thank Nine for a bunch of life lessons. You got to run between the lines at all times. If you're 10 minutes early, you're late already. I keep going all that. I'd like to thank Rusty for helping me remember that family's always first. Team baseball comes second, so that's kind of a big thing I took away from him. Carstage for just being a great guy as he is. Obi for being a great guy. A lot of other people in this room, my teammates out here for coming to my room at 5:30 in the morning, waking me up, make sure I was making that 6 a.m. lift multiple times. About every single one of you guys right there have done that. And just appreciate y'all for having me out, so thank you.
All right, off to the minor leagues, and we already heard a little bit about B.J. Boyd in the season that he had, leading all of Double-A in hits with 172. Midland was his 6th pro season, and his line went something like this: 323 with an OPS of 793, 82 runs in 130 games. Also stole 16 bases and had 40 extra base hits, including 5 home runs. So the pride of Pally and a member of the Oakland A's organization, B.J.
First off, I want to say thank you for the food. I need that. I want to say thank you to the Hot Stove Committee for letting me come out here for another year. It's been a blessing. I want to say thank you to OB, my agency, CAA, Mark Andretti for taking this time to hit with me. It's been a pleasure to be here. It's a blessing. If Eric Raich is here, I want him to stand up. Effie's here. I know you're here. You got to stand up. Yeah, but I want to thank that man for pushing me in high school, man, and making my dream come true.
Does anyone ever call you JB? I get BJ all the time, just curious. Another minor league player of the year, Braden Bishop, who I had a chance to get to know a little bit during his college career at Washington when his charity For Mom, benefiting Alzheimer's research, just took over our Pac-12 baseball lives and social media, and getting a chance to chat with him. I'm very glad to say it's still on a very good course, and I know all the hard work that you put in addition to your baseball career to make that happen. Let's spend a moment on your baseball career. Your 3rd professional season as an outfielder at the Double-A level with the Arkansas Travelers. Hit .336 with 34 extra base hits, scoring 89 runs. Another great product of the St. Francis program, and like I said, the University of Washington, and our minor league player of the year, Braden Bishop.
First, let me say it is an honor to be here. I'd like to thank the committee for this award. I'd also like to give a congratulations to Nine. It was an honor to play against you. It was a dream of mine to play at Stanford, growing up in the Bay Area and going to all your camps. But I wasn't lucky enough to do that, but I was lucky enough to play against you, so it was an honor. Congratulations on a great career. I'd like to thank my family, Rob Bruno, John Zuber, Mike Oakland, Lindsey Meggs, Seattle Mariners, and my agency, CAA. I was thinking about what to write and what to say. I just thought about all the people that I played against, all the players I played against growing up. And I honestly was taken back because there's so many great ones. So to be able to stand up here, like I said, is an unbelievable honor. Out of all things, I never thought that perspective would change my career. Perspective would be the thing that changed my career. My mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. I realized that there was so much more to life than just baseball. And, it provided me so many avenues to connect with people, to serve people. And so for that, it's an absolute blessing in disguise in such an ugly situation. This award's 100% for my mom, Susie. Alzheimer's may have taken its toll on her and my family, but we'll never let it win. So thank you for this award.
Wish you the best in big league spring training. Have a great 2018. Minor league pitcher of the year is Trevor Betancourt. The Lancers are on a roll here at the Hot Stove. Another member of the Phillies organization, drafted in the 25th round, 2016. This year for the Clearwater Threshers in the Tampa Bay area, High A. Trevor had some outstanding numbers: 5-2 on the hill with a 2.61 ERA, 77 strikeouts in 58 2/3 innings of work. Trevor Betancourt, our minor league pitcher of the year for 2017.
Hey, how's it going? I'm nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I came to this thing since I've been 12, sitting in the back. I just never thought I'd be up here, so it's pretty cool. So I just want to say thank you to the Hot Stove Committee. Never thought this would be happening. I'd always sitting back there eating. That's all I would do, just sit there and eat and people talk. So it's pretty cool. Thank you to my mom, dad, and sister. You guys are always texting me. It's pretty cool. Whether I had a good game or a bad game, I get a text from my mom and sister. Oh, it's okay, or oh, congrats. Be like, thanks, guys, appreciate it. Just give up 2 bombs. It's cool. I just want to say thank you to Shane Bowers and the Phillies for drafting me and giving me a chance. It was a dream come true. It happened while we were in Louisville when I was with the Gauchos, and it was a pretty cool day. Thank you to Sasa, Cobb, and Karen. Thank you for helping me out. Greatest agency on and off the field. Whenever I need something, always there whenever I need it. Checkits and the staff at UCSB gave me another chance after I left Tennessee, so it was pretty cool by them. I know Oakland's not here, but Coach Oakland and the staff at St. Francis, it was a fun 4 years there, and really grew up there. And I know you guys are back there, so thank you as well. Sparta training up, making sure I'm not fat anymore. I used to be pretty fat, so they help out a lot with that. Zuber's not here. Played with that guy in summer for 4 years, and he helped me develop as a man on and off the field. And I can't say enough to that guy. And then last but not least, Eric Thames, who's over here. This is 7th time up here. I don't know, dude. He was like a brother to me. I've known him since you were 14. Yeah. So he used to help me with homework and stuff. But whenever stuff is going bad or good, doesn't matter. I can always call him and text him. He's always there for me. So thank you to everybody in here. Appreciate it.
So again, I'll refer you to your program for a little bit on the Ted Barrett Amateur Umpire Award. We have a really cool father-son story this year, but just a word on Ted. 24th year as a Major League umpire, a Los Altos High product, and his name has been on this award ever since I've been able to join you here at the Hot Stove Banquet. The Vassar family is the subject we're going to talk about tonight. Mark did his first umpiring while his son was actually playing, and he's been doing majors and juniors games full-time since 1999. Took over as umpire-in-chief in 2007 in Los Altos and served until 2014 when his son Adam took over for him. Although 71 years young now, Mark plans on umpiring as long as his body allows, and behind him, Adam started umpiring in 95 when he was just 10 years old and has every season, every year after that. In the summer of 98, Adam developed serious heart issues, which led to his having a heart transplant just before Christmas of that year. Adam was able to return to school in March of 99, and by baseball season, he was back doing what he enjoys so much, umpiring baseball. He became umpire-in-chief of Los Altos Little League in 2015 and a Little League District 44 redshirt umpire in 2015 as well. Adam has also been umpiring some high school baseball in the area, so we'd like to invite the Vassars, Mark and Adam, to the stage and present their award and say congratulations.
Thank you. It's really a great honor to be here. I want to thank the committee, and more importantly, my old coach at Los Altos, Sandy. Sandy's awesome. He's been involved in baseball a really long time. I can speak for my dad. We don't get into umpiring for the recognition. Usually it's kind of the opposite. If people start to recognize you, it's a bad thing because you're recognizable for a reason, right? So I tell the kids that umpire, if the coaches leave the field asking, were there umpires or who were the umpires? That's good. That's good. We don't want to be part of the game. We want to do our best to be involved as little as possible, not be controversial. But I never thought I'd get an honor like this, so it's really a huge honor, and it's something I never thought. I just umpired baseball for fun. Once I couldn't play anymore, really. I love to play, so it's a way to stay involved. So that's pretty much it for me. You want to talk?
I also would like to thank the committee and the wonderful people that put this together every year, and Sandy Whitall for providing us with a huge surprise by nominating us, and it's a great honor. It's just, baseball is something I've lived with since I was 5 years old. I love it. Thank you.
The past year we had 2 local high school teams win section championships and 1 summer team win a World Series. So we'd like to recognize those performances now. If you're a member of these teams, player or coach, if you would just stand at your table and we'll give you a round of applause individually. We'll start with 18 and under CCB Los Gatos Legends Palomino. Coaches John Warden and Ryan Bernard. The Legends defeated Mexico twice during the tournament, defeated the Santa Clara Soldiers in the finals. And the community team with Emilio Nogales. Congratulations to the Los Gatos Legends, Palomino World Series champions for 2017. CCS Open Division champions, Valley Christian High School head coach John Diotti. The Warriors were 22-11 overall, 9-4-1 in the WCAL. Valley Christian got hot at the end, winning 4 of their last 16 games on their way to a thrilling 4-3 win over Sarah in the CCS Open Division Finals. Congratulations, Valley Christian, CCS Open Division champions 2017. Third and finally, Westmont High School CCS Division I winner, head coach Tony Pianto, and Westmont captured their first ever section title with an 8-1 victory over Los Altos. Warriors outscored their opponents 23-1 during the playoffs. So congratulations, the Westmont Warriors, CCS D1 champs 2017. Another one of our great traditions at the Hot Stove Banquet is the Kathy Wolf Women in Baseball Award. Kathy, an essential member of Stanford baseball for so many years, and in her honor, we give the award to Judy Harden tonight, who has been a Little League volunteer in District 59 for over 20 years. 59 encompasses Milpitas, San Jose, Gilroy, and Judy has done a little bit of everything, like so many of the women in our baseball lives do. More than 2 decades of helping out. Started as a team mom, coordinated the snack bar. Before long, she was dragging the infield, coordinated the yearbooks, ordered pictures, you name it. 15 years as a district administrator overseeing all-star competition. Basically, as you can tell, Judy has done everything you can at the Little League level. And for that remarkable spirit of volunteerism, Judy receives our Kathy Wolf Women in Baseball Award for 2017.
I want to thank everyone here. It's a pleasure. After almost 40 years, it's nice to be recognized. But you don't go into Little League Baseball or volunteering or any of these things for this. You go in it for the love of the game, and for me, it was the love of the kids. The kids kept me there long after my boys were gone, finished with their seasons. And so I want to thank the committee for voting me in. I want to thank the San Jose Giants people for putting my name forward. Love the San Jose Giants. And I just want to thank everyone. Thank you very much.
All right, our Frank Betancourt Award is next, the great MA varsity coach for nearly 4 decades. This award goes for high school academic and athletic achievement. And Andrew Meggs is our honoree. Last year, as a senior at Leland, Andrew hit 481 for the Chargers, all while sporting a 3.75 GPA for Coach Mike Spar. Andrew currently playing at Creighton University in Omaha, and so therefore unable to attend tonight, but accepting for Andrew is Leland assistant coach Kim Karabastis.
Thank you. It was my pleasure to coach Andrew, and a privilege to be up here today to receive this honor for him, as well as the other players. I look down here, I've probably coached or with you or against you on many occasions. It's very great to have special players that come from this area that end up traveling out to the Midwest or farther and showing them how well the game is played from right here in Santa Clara County. Thank you very much.
Us Giants fans have one more thank you for Bobby, and that is getting the deal done this week so that our next award winner could be here tonight, because if that McCutcheon deal went one more 24-hour cycle, I don't know that we would have Alex with us. He'd be busy working tonight, putting the final details on that for all of us who watch and read his work. You probably know Alex, San Francisco Giants beat writer that we all enjoy following. He started as a prep writer for the San Jose Mercury News and was named the lead high school reporter way back when in 2010. From there, Alex moved to covering the Giants for the Merc, now covering the Giants for NBC Bay Area, where we read and watch his work. And just like our honored players here tonight, he's risen from our local high school ranks up to the major leagues. A proud Cupertino High School graduate, just like his, you told me, 5 younger siblings behind you. He was inducted to that high school's Hall of Fame in 2016. So here to give us his take on the McCutcheon trade and a whole lot more, we congratulate Alex on being the 2017 Media Member of the Year for our Hot Stove Banquet.
Yeah, like you said, quick thank you to that table right there, because I woke up yesterday and just had a bad feeling that I would not be here today. So I thank you guys for getting that done yesterday, making life a little bit easier. Bobby, you freak me out when you go in the back of the room with your cell phone. I feel like I'm going to have to work, but take it easy for a second. The people I really want to thank in this room, like you mentioned, I did high school sports for a while. That's how I started. I remember you as a very good high school running back. But there are a lot of coaches in this room who I talked to earlier tonight. I'm sure there are some who I'll talk to later who were just very helpful to a 24-year-old who was calling them and asking for box scores or going to their games and asking them for quotes. And that was a big deal for me back then. It helped me get to where I am. You guys do a great job with your kids. And I just wanted to tell a quick story, because I know there are a lot of players here who are on the verge of making the big leagues or going to get drafted soon, or guys who hope to get drafted or coming up through high school. The Giants were in Milwaukee this year, and they won that night. It was a good night for them, and I think, it was a good series for them, I seem to remember. And I was walking out of the ballpark around midnight, and the batting cage in Milwaukee it's behind the clubhouses. So when you're coming out of the clubhouse and the visiting clubhouse, you have to walk past the Brewers batting cage. And I hear a ton of noise at midnight, and I walk past and I look in and I see Eric in a sleeveless shirt, drenched in sweat, taking just a bunch of hacks just over and over again. I think he was by himself. And I think he had maybe gone 0 for 3 that night or something. Just good season, just one bad night. And it just, to me, it's a good example, I think, for everybody here that it's not an accident when you make it up here. You're laughing like I feel like that happened all the time. But
Matt Cain, 85, inside corner, 2 seam, locking me up.
That put him in the cage at midnight. But it is, it's a lot of hard work. I know a lot of you guys have that ahead of you. It is always really cool for us in the press box. I grew up in the Bay Area. When we see kids who we know, kids who we covered, just anybody who has the Bay Area on their bio, it's cool to see them come up. So best of luck to all of you guys. Hopefully we see you in spring training. We see you at the ballpark. And again, thank you to you guys for this award and for having me.
All right. Coming down the home stretch, thanks for your patience. And now we get a chance to honor some major leaguers with roots in our hometowns. And Trevor Hildenburger is a product of Cal and Archbishop Mitty and was called up by the Minnesota Twins from AAA Rochester on June the 23rd. Made his debut that day with a scoreless inning against the Indians and appeared in 37 games over the summer, going 3-3 with a save, a dozen holds, a WAR of 0.8, a WHIP of 1.05. But Trevor's story of how he reached the big leagues really, I think, an inspiration for all of us in any walk of life, be it baseball, sports, or otherwise. His career really took off after switching to a sidearm delivery his senior year at Cal and a bunch of other circumstances that put him on his current track, which we're all really proud of. Since then, at every level of professional baseball, climbing the ladder, he's simply found a way to get hitters out, and we hope he can do a whole lot more of that in the summer ahead. Trevor Hildenburger, our Major League Pitcher of the Year.
First off, I'd like to thank the Hot Stove Committee. It's truly an honor to be here tonight. I'd like to thank my parents. Obviously, I wouldn't be the player or the person I am today without your support and guidance. I'd also like to thank all my former coaches that are here tonight. Thank you for everything you did on and off the field for me while I played under you and beyond. So, thank you.
And next to Trevor at our head table, we finally get to the Bellarmine portion of the program. From the Milwaukee Brewers, by way of Bellarmine, West Valley, Pepperdine, and several other stops along the way, including Korea, he returned to Major League Baseball after 3 spectacular seasons abroad and earned a spot on the Brewers roster and responded with 31 home runs. Like Trevor, Eric's story of perseverance, hard work, and patience, a lesson to all of us, especially our younger players, and can't wait to hear Eric Thames' story, and I'll bring him up with the Go Bells at long last.
Thank you, thank you. So last time I was up here was 2012, and I told a really bad joke. So I have to continue that tradition and tell another one. 2 windmills are standing in a field. One says to the other, "What kind of music do you listen to?" And the other responds, "I'm a big metal fan." Hey, okay, good. I know, same thing last few times. It's okay. Yeah, it's great being back up here, man. I mean, I live in Vegas now. Born in San Jose, as you said, went to Bellarmine, Cabrillo, West Valley, Pepperdine, drafted by the Jays in 08. Be back here, see my old coaches and old teammates and old friends. It's awesome. I mean, it's kind of cool. I mean, like, you realize it when you get older. You guys are all young. I'm 31, so you'll see when you get older, you see buddies I even play with in years, and it's like you just played together yesterday. Enjoy that. Enjoy the dream. You guys are living the dream. It's awesome. It's awesome. I want to thank my mom, my dad for raising me and for whooping my butt all those years. My dad teaching me work ethic. I mean, he put a pull-up bar in my room when I was 12. I couldn't even reach it. And I had to get a chair, and he's like, "Oh, you got to get muscles to hit home runs and muscles. And yeah, there's a little more technique to that, but it was right. I mean, he taught me work ethic, and, you got to work to be able to get what you want in life. And for me, it's paid off a little bit. I also had a little bit of luck. I mean, that's life, timing and luck a little bit. But the Betancourt family, Joe gave me hitting lessons since I was 12 or 13, all the way until today. Trevor was literally in diapers when I knew him. His sister was a baby. It's crazy. And now he's like, now I might face him next year. I might face this guy. And it's like, all right, hey, if you go down and in, don't hang it, all right? Go ahead. Breaking balls down and in. Okay, that is my weakness a little bit. Down and in, don't hang it, because I'll put you upper deck, all right? Top deck. No, but it's awesome. I mean, like I said, like, for you guys, enjoy it. I mean, I don't want to say it's short-lived, but the window is so small for all of us. I mean, some of you can play till you're 40, some maybe next year. You never know. So enjoy every moment with your teammates. Work as hard as you can. Party a little bit, just so you can still have fun. And hobby. Find a hobby, read books, play video games, do something to still, have fun in life. But work as hard as you can, man, because it's like such a small window and you never know what's going to happen. I mean, for me, I left Earth for 3 years. I was in Korea for 3 years, so I left Earth. Because for me, I had no idea what to expect, and I went to Korea, and it was just I got the plane, couldn't read anything on the buildings, I didn't know what to eat. I was eating, there's a Dunkin' Donuts. There's a Dunkin' Donuts in Korea. And donuts every night. I had donuts and egg sandwiches, and that's all I could eat for a month because I couldn't read menus. There was no pictures. Okay, it's not like, if you go to a Korean restaurant down the street, it's no. There, it's all letters, and it's unless you're with somebody that speaks it, you have no idea what's going on. So, and it's just you gotta learn. I learned how to just enjoy it. 2013, I was in AAA the whole year. I had 370 first 3 months. Didn't get a call up, and that kind of hit me hard. I was like, man, I'm working hard, I'm performing, and nothing. The team had the guy they were pushing. He was hitting 210, by the way. But I'm just sitting there, I was like, man, what's going on? And so I kind of got over it. I hit 240 the last 3 months of the year, and I was okay, I'm done. And my agent called me one night, and he was like, hey, dude, Korea wants you. And I was like, no, I was 26. I was like, no way in heck. I can't swear. He told me I can't swear. I was like, there's no way I'm going to Korea. There's no chance because I'm still a big leaguer. I'm 26, 27, I'm in my prime. I'm strong. That's great. And I was like, all right, you know what? Let's go. I'm getting out of here. I need a fresh start. I need something. And I went, and then everything was just moved so fast. And even last year, I thought I was going to Japan. I was okay, there's a big deal in Japan, or maybe, who knows what happens. And then bam, Milwaukee popped up, and I was like, okay, done. And I was in the big leagues. It's insane to me. Oh, by the way, so, a few days ago, I met a former Stanford player. Through 98 in high school. 88 was cheese in high school. And it's just unbelievable to me how the gap of players though in cheddar nowadays. I leave the big leagues in 2012, 88 to 92, sinkers, cutters, changeups, whatever. And now it's these sliders are cutters, and guys throwing 98, 99, lefties throwing 99 to 100. And it's what in the world happened? So that learning curve for me was just I use a heavy bat too. And it was just okay, this is a little tip for you guys too. Okay. See, I'm gonna start ranting. I'm sorry. I talk a lot. All right, so baseball, we always train to slow things down, right? T, front toss, BP is 50 miles an hour. And in the game, guys throw 95 plus. And it's why are we training so slow? And so I had 44 strikeouts this year on foul tips into the mitt. Whether it's top of the zone, sliders, and I'm just how am I missing these balls? And so I started training velocity. A machine to 110 miles an hour. 110, I broke so many bats. My thumb, to this day, is still sore, but it worked out. So I was facing Garrett Cole with Pittsburgh at the time. Yeah, he's gone now, but threw 97 right here. And I just reacted. I hit him in the top deck in Milwaukee. And I was like, that ball would have been into the mid. I would have swung through that a minute late. But I got to it. There were balls that were two-seamers, 91, 92. I swung like it was a changeup. And I was like, man, it's so weird. When you train above speed, when you train to be quick, everything slows down during the game. And I learned that in September. It was a little late for me. I went from 230 to 247 in just 1 month because I just started training hard. Okay, I want to be able to be quick and short, but in the game it's going to slow down. And it worked. It worked. So that's a little thing I learned from facing 88 to 92 to 97 to 99. But okay, I'm sorry. I'll down my little rant. So thank you to the committee. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure being here. Always just an excuse to get over here and see everybody, all these fresh faces and old faces. It's awesome for me. My heart is full right now. So thank you for that. Yeah, Mom, Dad. You guys were the rock all those years. You put me through Bellarmine. All that tuition. It's not cheap going to these schools. So my mom, thank you for that. You guys sacrificed a lot for me. Devin actually, my sister Devin actually came. Thank you, Devin. Yes, I won't talk too much, so thank you for everything. You guys are great. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for supporting this whole thing. And, yeah. Thank you
so much, Eric. We're going to take a quick break from our program and bring Sandy to the microphone here with a special announcement.
So we want to go a little off the playlist. This started 35 years ago, as a lot of you have read before, and it started with Jim Hemphill, my old high school baseball coach at Homestead, and one Dave Obenour. Dave and his wife Margaret do so much. There's so much that goes on with this to make this happen, and with Bill Hutton and Jason in the committee and a few others, we just wanted to take a moment to thank Obi and his wife Margaret for their work and hanging with this. We're not sure how much longer we'll have Obi doing everything he's going to do, but we want to take some of that pressure off of him. But you guys just make this thing phenomenal. And so on behalf of the committee and thousands of people that have been to this banquet in the years past, thank you. And we're going to give them a $200 gift certificate for dinner and the blue plate. And Jason, our attorney, would like to say something too.
Oh, thank you. I just wanted to echo what Sandy said. This doesn't happen without Dave and Margaret and all the work they do. And you go to their house a couple days before this event. There are names, there are papers scattered everywhere. Margaret's really the backbone of all this thing. And I wanted to add one more thing for Obi as well. I got to give him my most prized possession. I've heard a lot of schools called out tonight, but this is a University of Utah tie. And if anybody knows me, it doesn't get any better than that. So when they go out to eat, if you wear that, you'll get the best table, the best service. I promise you that. It always just go like this and you're in. So thank you.
One other quick mention before we get to Coach Marquess, and that would be Susan Slusser, who I saw in attendance tonight, and such an important member of our baseball community. Don't want to let her attendance go unnoticed. A's beat writer, BBWA president, San Francisco Chronicle, sitting there at Finn's table. All right, so in about a minute or less, I have to read you Mark Marquess's biography, so stand by. It goes back to being a 65 graduate of Stagg High School in Stockton, two-sport athlete at Stanford, as you probably know, baseball and football. Drafted by the White Sox in '69 and played 4 years of pro ball. Returned to Stanford in '72 as an assistant, and as it turned out, never left. Head coach in 1977, became one of 4 D1 baseball coaches to achieve 1,600 victories during his time, including back-to-back national championships in '87, '88, and 14 trips to the College World Series. 3-time NCAA Coach of the Year, won gold in the Seoul Olympics as the U.S. head coach, and over 200 of his Cardinal players have been drafted since 1977. All those numbers, all those statistics can only be summarized by one, and that is those of us who know him and have come to know him as 9, kind of summarizes all of that in just a single numeral. We know he doesn't like to speak much about himself, so to assist in that, we have 4 gentlemen here tonight to reflect for a few minutes on Mark's career. David Esker we've heard from, and if you would come back up, please. Graduated in '87, now the head coach at Stanford. Ryan Garko played at Stanford for 2000-2003, then had an 8-year major league career, now in his first season as head coach at UOP. Tom Kunis, West Valley, De Anza, Ohlone, San Jose State, 8 years and as an assistant at Stanford as well. And finally, Chris Bradford, who coached varsity baseball at St. Francis in Mountain View for 32 1/4 years and is a longtime friend of Mark's. So with that, I'll pass the microphone to Bill Hutton, retired baseball coach at Archbishop Mitty, to moderate our conversation here.
Thanks, JB. Just a couple clerical announcements. First of all, I want to congratulate all the winners. We have an unbelievable pool of talent in our area right now. Huge group of athletes to choose from for all these awards. We're at an all-time high in terms of the depth and the quality of our talent. That's a compliment to all the players and the coaches and the parents in the room. We also want to make an appeal. We need some help on our committee. It's fewer people involved than you might think, doing a lot of work. You just recognize Obi and his wife, which is much deserved. What we really need is someone to steal from the Major League Baseball world now. We need an analytics person. We need a sabermetrician. We need someone that doesn't necessarily have experience on the field or in the dugout, but experience helping move this event forward. We have a website that's ready to launch. We just can't get the final 5 yards and get in the end zone. We need a social media presence. We want to grow the event. We want your input. We want to get to 50 years. This is the 34th. We want to get to 50. So if any of you know anybody, male, female, player, ex-player, parent, son, daughter, on the program is the email for the Hot Stove group. Send us some names. We really got to jumpstart this thing and continue to grow. There's too many people that it's too important to not to continue to grow the event, and frankly, we need some help. So thank you for that. Thank you to the players. Now, with regard to Mark, we brought these guys down to maybe talk for a minute or two about some special memories. I wanted to kick the event off, so I'm going to read a couple things, and then the four gentlemen behind me are going to take over, and then Mark will come up to wrap up the event. But I want to thank everyone in advance for their attendance and their patience. So when Vin Scully retired as a Dodgers announcer after the 2016 season, many people like myself reflected on the fact that Vin Scully had been part of our entire lives. Like an old friend. If you grew up in Southern California, that is exactly how it was, and I did. Vinny essentially raised a lot of people without really trying. He gave advice. He was a role model. He taught us about diplomacy and manners and diversity and basically how to live our lives. And of course, he taught us about baseball. He was always teaching us about baseball. Listening to Vin Scully when I was 5 or when I was 55 was comforting and secure, safe and enlightening. Well, Mark, for most of us in this room, the Santa Clara Valley baseball community, you provided us with much the same experience as Vin Scully. You taught us how to be coaches, fathers, husbands, grandfathers, and role models. You taught us how to be kind and gracious, intense and focused. You taught us right from wrong, and you taught us to be classy winners and gracious losers. Not all of us knew you closely, much like Vinny, but we thought we did because we spent so much time with you. Not all of us would have ever dreamed of calling you Nine, but we all wish we could have. We have all made the drive to Sunken Diamond. I know that in this room we've all done it. We've all made the drive on a Sunday. Got there real early, maybe before the staff was even there. Maybe you could sneak in. I've done that. We all watched BP. You either had your foot on the tire behind the cage or you were throwing BP. And I did a quick calculation. You're a member of the 70, 40, 50 club. 70 years old, 40 feet away, 50 miles an hour. So that's a rare club to be part of. It takes a tremendous amount of experience and work ethic right there. We watched your players fix the field after BP and sprint everywhere. I started that in 1982 and would point out to my players and assistant coaches, look how they hustle. Look, they're doing field work. They're on their feet in the dugout the entire game. They're sprinting everywhere. If they're doing it, so can you. And last May, after the last game against Fullerton, I said the same things to my son. We all took pilgrimage to Sunken every spring. We learned all the virtues of baseball. We also learned all the virtues of being a gentleman and a husband and a father. You did all that for us, just like Vin Scully, without even trying, without even maybe knowing that you were doing that. We all owe you a huge thank you for being in our lives and modeling for us the most honorable way to live our lives. We are excited to present you with the Hot Stove Service Award, which after tonight will be known as the Mark Marquess Hot Stove Service Award. After your friends behind me share a few words with you, we would be honored to have you come up and share a few of your own. We'd like to start with David Esker.
So I really, I was like many of these players out here. I thought I wanted to be a Major League Baseball player when I grew up. It's kind of funny how you connect the dots on how you got to get into coaching and make that a profession. I wrote a book report on John Wooden from first grade to sixth grade. I think it wasn't the same one, but it was on the same book. And I didn't know I wanted to become a coach. I just was fascinated with UCLA basketball as a youngster, and who knew that I would get the opportunity to basically play with John Wooden's equivalent in college baseball, and get an opportunity to coach with John Wooden's equivalent in college baseball, and then take over a program for probably someone who stands for the highest in character and integrity and everything that you'd want to stand for and take from him. But my story for you will be about one of the greatest years of my life, 1987. We won the national championship. Long way to come. I was a walk-on at Stanford. I hadn't had much playing time first few years there. Won the job as a senior, and we just had that magical year. We played with a band of brothers who took on and really were lifted and were standing on the shoulders of the players before us. A couple of them here, Vin Scully and Mike Aldretti, who played at Stanford before us, and kind of set the stage for us to get to that next level. Talk about being a coach of coaching new players in the 2000s, and talk about communication. I'm going to give you a story about communication with Coach Marquess that led us to a national championship. In the first couple of weeks, we had a game we didn't play quite so well, and the directive at the end of the game was that we were to stay in the dugout until the stadium cleared. So we all kind of sat there. We lost the game to Fresno. Probably played with low energy and not with a level of effort that Coach had hoped that we play with. He then took us up to the soccer fields and basically set out cones that were the equivalent to a suicide drill in basketball. Split us up into 4 teams, and then we ran a couple suicide drills for time just to warm up. Eventually, his communication to us, which is all about communication, right? We know that coaches communication now in these days. He communicated to us he wasn't real happy with the way we played, and he decided that the winning team would be able to stop running, but the other 3 teams would have to continue to run until each one would win once. At the end of the drill, at that time, it was everybody on whosever team you were at, you were rooting on as hard as you possibly could, urging your teammate, diving across the line, diving to tag the next guy in line so that he would get started, so that you had the best chance to win. At the end of the drill, I remember when it was all said and done, and the last team had run its last cone, we used to call them, Coach came up to us and he gathered us together and he just said, all I'm asking you is that you play baseball like you just ran these cones, right? Well, we win the national championship. Our gift to Coach Marquess at the end of that year is we bought a cone and we mounted it and we all signed it, and the placard that we had that stuck with us for the rest of the year was, all I ask is that you play the game as hard as you ran those cones. Those lessons and many more lessons beyond that have marked me for my whole life. I keep chasing, and I'm trying to deliver to my players the same experience the coach gave me, which was to play with a bunch of players that I'm as my best friends, some of them I'm as close as brothers to play with coaches that care for you and really are working to develop you not just as a baseball player, but as a person, to, like as Coach Hutton said, to help you become a better person, a better father, a better husband, a better employee, all those things that you can connect the dots that you've learned by playing for your coaches and having those opportunities. I got that opportunity playing for Coach Marquess, and I basically got the opportunity to whether it's great, something you would wish on someone is to take over for basically the John Wooden of college baseball. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, David. We have Ryan Garco, who's an alum, came back and coached with Stanford, is the head coach at University of Pacific, and jumped in his car after their first practice today. You guys have all either gone to or from the Valley at some point. He jumped in his car to come here just to speak tonight, so I'm really grateful to Ryan. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks. Thank you for having me here tonight. You guys, while I'm here, Coach Marquess, he's always teaching, and I have to just speak to all of you players here tonight. And listening to Eric talk was inspirational, but also looking at him, all you young players, you high school players, you college players, you minor leaguers, look at this man. That is what is waiting for you in the major leagues. That is a major leaguer. And then to listen to how hard he's worked. I remember Eric was a really good, big prospect when I was kind of finishing up my career. I also spent a year in Korea. And so I have walked in this man's shoes. And for him to dig out of that, he's the hardest, probably the hardest worker in this room. And it's pretty impressive. But guys, that's what's out there. And every day you get to wear a uniform. Don't waste it, because there's a number. It ends for everybody. So Michael Young used to say, it ends for all of us. Whether you're a Hall of Famer or you stopped playing in high school, don't waste it, man. He didn't waste it. He dug himself out of that hole, and he earned it. So keep grinding. Everybody takes a different path. Keep working really hard. That's what Coach Mark was taught me as a player, and so many other guys at Stanford. But, Coach, I'm here for all of your players tonight. A lot of guys, I think in that last year you had, we all sort of circled up as a group, all those guys that played for you for those 40 years. And we got to celebrate you, and we all kind of reconnected and got to talk about all of our years with you. And Coach Hutton said I get to tell one funny story and get on you a little bit, and then get to talk a little bit more about the personal side. But, we started texting about what was the funniest thing that happened with Coach Marquess. And when I was there, we were pretty good. He had it rolling at that point. I was kind of there when, Omaha was the expectation. We were very good. We didn't lose often. And we went up to Sacramento State on a Tuesday night. We were like 35-5. We were good, and just got beat. We lost 3-2. We played in the minor league park. It was a good game. We just got beat. They were the better team that night. And so we get back on the bus, and about 2.5 hour drive back to Palo Alto, and we hop back on, and we're driving, and we're on the 5, and we're hungry. We're 19, 20-year-old guys, and we're not stopping. Usually we got to stop. Even if we lost, we got to stop. And panic sets in. We're like, hey, we're hungry. We need to eat. And the lights are off, and no one's making a noise. And so we go to Tom Kunis, who's here today. I sneak up. You always go to the assistants first, because they're the nice guys. I sneak up to the front of the bus, and I say, hey, Coach K, can we stop and just maybe you hop off, get us some snacks? And he's just like, get out of here. Back of the bus. So Sam folds in the back of the bus. We come back. We're like, what are we going to do, guys? Like, we got to eat. So Sam was diabetic. Sam Folds, a great player at Stanford, major league player. So all the older guys, the upperclassmen, we have this great plan. Hey, let's have Sam fake like he's going to have a seizure. Coach has to stop. So we're all in on this. We're like, let's do it, boys. So right before we pull this heist off, Tobin Swope, who was a senior shortstop, the most normal of the bunch, kind of the straightest arrow of the group, he goes, well, what if he calls our bluff? And we're like, what do you mean? He's like, well, what if he just doesn't care? What if he lets Sam pass out? And Sam's going to have to go to the hospital. So Sam did it. Sam runs to the trainer and he's like, hey, I'm going to pass out. And begrudgingly, 3 exits later, Sam gets to get off the bus. Only Sam and the trainer go in to a gas station somewhere in the valley. But Sam did us all solid and stuffed about 30 bags of chips in his jacket and a bunch of protein bars and stuck them to the back of the bus. And we got to eat that night. But, Coach hated to lose. And I think he just, he hated to lose. If there's one thing I remember of 9 as a coach, he hated to lose. But, realistically, tonight we're here talking about baseball. I always think about Coach's his impact on the game of baseball. I was lucky. I've spent my life in the game. You start thinking about this man's impact on the game of baseball and what he sent out into the world, whether it's a high school coach or a major league player, major league GM. Ruben Amaro won a World Series. A.J. Hinch just won a World Series. All the great players, Mike Mussina, Jack McDowell, Carlos Quinton, all these great players, that the impact that he's had on the game of baseball from the top to the bottom, to men like Coach Esker, Coach O'Brien, who's here tonight, Coach Kunis, Coach Stotts, who wanted to be here tonight. His granddaughter is in a play down in San Diego, sends his regards. He's had a real impact on the game of baseball, and it is just an incredible legacy that you leave all over the game. And that
we all need to recognize and remember and respect forever. And to come from, this county, this group, this room, it's pretty incredible. But I think when, thinking back, driving out here tonight, really thinking about what Coach Mark was really, this is a perfect award for him, a service award. Because when you talk about a servant leader, what a real coach is, it was never about him. It was always about the players. It was always about what he could do for others. And every Thursday night when I was a player, we would go to the Children's Hospital over at Stanford, and Coach would organize it. He'd get 6, 7 guys. We'd go over, and as a player, it felt great. We'd go over, we'd play with the kids, we'd play with their brothers and sisters. He never talked about it. He never publicized it. He didn't tweet about it. I don't think he knows what Twitter is. But, as a kid, I did it. I think we all learned lessons. And as an adult, when I went back to coach, I realized that the players, yes, we went and played with the kids. We did so much. But Mark was there with the sick children's parents, comforting them. And as a father now, with a little girl, he was the one, he did it for the right reason. It wasn't about him, it wasn't about the team. It was his way of giving back to a community and to people who needed it the most. And he did everything with integrity, he did everything with humility and class. He was above the fray of college baseball, of just sometimes what it can become with the recruiting and the different things that exist in the game. He was above it all for so long, and we were lucky to have him. We were all so lucky to play for you. And we thank you, and this is a perfect award for you because you served so many and touched so many tonight.
Our next friend is Tom Kunis, who's I think coached at every school in the Valley at one point or another, including a long stint at Stanford. So he has a wonderful perspective on Coach Marquess as well as baseball in our Valley.
Thank you, Billy. Back in 1999. I'm talking to Dean Stotts at Long Beach. We're recruiting. He says, "Here, come here, I want to talk to you." He says, "Coach Marquess would like to meet with you." And so, or talk with you over the phone. So I'll get on the phone, talk to Coach Marquess. Says, I'd like to meet you in my office at your earliest, opportunity. Next thing you know, I'm hearing that the Colonel, the legendary Tom Dutton, who's here tonight, is going to retire. We're thinking about retiring, and we're trying to look for a replacement and want to interview you. So we get to the office. An hour later, no baseball is talked. I turn to Coach, and I said, I'm kind of getting the idea we're wrapping this thing up. I said, do you want to talk, the baseball stuff? He goes, no, you wouldn't be here if I needed to. That was the interview. Want to know who you are, what you're about, what your family's about. And I walked away from that thing kind of just going, wow. That was the most impressive interview that maybe anyone could have put on. You know what you're getting. You know exactly what you're getting. It was direct. It was very upfront, profound. And I'll never forget that. This tie I'm wearing is a tie you gave me, I think 2002. This tie has every pitch with fingers on the baseball. I took that as, again, he's a consummate teacher. I took it as a compliment, and I think I got better. And that's why I wear this tie. I wear it to all baseball events around, whenever I go. One thing you knew about Coach Marquess was that you won on Sunday, especially if you went on the road. If you were on a flight, for instance, Florida State, 2000, and you happened to lose on Sunday, even if you did well during the rest of the series, if you lose on Sunday, that meant it's a 4.5-hour flight, and I get the seat next to him. I'm getting the seat next to Coach Marquess because nobody else wants it, right? So it's me, Coach Marquess, and the seat in front of you. And there's not going to be a word uttered. And on said occasion, when I get home, Coach needs a ride. It's about 4 in the morning, 3:30, 4 in the morning. And I promise you, this is going to be the most awkward ride home. And it was, except for the thank you at the end. Otherwise, eyes straight ahead, nobody says a word. But the thing about Coach Marquess, it's all kind of been said, the accolades are there, but one thing you knew as a parent, when you dropped your son off at Stanford University, you knew he was going to be in great hands. I don't know if you know this, but Coach Marquess, every year, every quarter, was the guy that set up the class schedules. He was the guy that met with each one of the players. He was the guy that when you went on a road trip and you're sitting in the bus and Coach Marquess, you know where Coach the head guy sits, well, that seat next to him is empty. Every guy was going to meet with Coach, and he was going to catch up with him. How's your family? How are things going? And then you might get into some of the baseball stuff, but it was always, how are you doing? How is your family? What's going on in your life? Excellent. Not only to touch base with your own players, but how about just keeping tabs on those guys and using great use of time when you're riding on those long bus trips to benefit yourself and know what your players are all about. So you got this guy who's taking care of you the moment you get to the school. Make sure that you got the right classes. He protects you so that you don't have scouts or whatever. You get to the College World Series, you got media, ridiculous media. Protects you, insulates you from it. Make sure you don't have a big head. The Louisville, Nick, you guys know this, but you got Louisville, you got Rawlings, you got all these great companies that want to give you everything in the world, but you don't get it. You're going to earn it, right? Get to a regional, your locker's going to be you're going to get some stuff in it. You get to a super regional, you're going to have a lot more stuff. You get to a College World Series, you get it all. But you were going to earn it. And why? Because the guys before you were the guys that actually earned it for you. And so to get it, you were going to have to follow their footsteps. What a great teacher. What a great opportunity to try to instill those type of qualities in players. So when I think of Coach Marquess, I think of integrity, because I worked with him. It's an honor to work with somebody of that integrity and see it perform day in and day out, no matter what he did. Last thing I'll leave you with is the ability to balance faith, family. Susan, you're unbelievable. But to be able to balance that, faith, family, and then baseball. And at times it didn't seem like baseball was third, but believe me, in his mind, and if you've been around him at all, you realize that it was always going to be faith and family ahead of baseball. So, Coach, it's always been an honor. I've always considered it, next to my father, the best role model I could have imagined having in my life.
Our final speaker, we might have to lower the podium a little bit, but Chris Bradford, longtime friends, giving us a little window into the personal side of Coach Marquess.
Thanks, Ed. I'm going to try to, I'm looking at the clock, but I can see it back there. It's clicking. I don't know really why I was invited, but I'm honored to be here. I've known Mark a long time. We were contemporaries in college. His wife, Susan, is down here. She and I were classmates at Santa Clara the same year. And so I got to know him sort of a little bit, but I watched him play more than I watched when we were friends. And I watched him, we played against each other 4 years against each other. He played more than I did. Probably 16 games. I think we played 4 times a year. I've never seen anything like it. This guy's a whirling dervish. We were all like, we wanted to make fun of him because he just played so hard and ran so hard and hustled so much. But we were like, well, we don't play that way, so we better keep our mouth shut. We were just sort of embarrassed by how unbelievable the competitiveness, everything else. And then I watched him coach for years and all that. But I'm just going to give you a little bit of that's all these guys have talked about the before. Now there's the after. The after is what does he do? Somebody so competitive, unbelievable, that after baseball. So a little bird told my wife that maybe he would be interested in possibly playing golf. And then I played with a guy named Jim Darby. A lot of you know who he is. So I tell Darbs in the summer, I said, Darbs, I think Nine might want to come out, and maybe one of us could reach out to him, so on and so forth. So I think Darbs reaches out to him, and I reach out to him, and he goes, yeah, I'll play. And then it started. So basically his goal, his competition right now is beating my butt. That's what he wants to do more than anything. And it's like, I'm not going to let it happen. So tomorrow morning he buys me breakfast, but pretty soon I know that he's going to get better and I'm going to be in big trouble because this guy is so competitive. Those of you that know him know that he'll poke you in the chest. So one day after our third meeting, he goes, hey, you got to suck and get better. And the only way to do that is to play for money or something. So we're going to start playing breakfast or lunch. I said, okay, yeah, all right, fine, you know, all right. And so then we play that 9 holes. I think I win. Probably going to win for a while. Anyway, but it is, so this guy is on me like you wouldn't believe. So we're playing maybe over water. He goes, don't look at the water. Don't pretend it's not there. Don't even look at it. I go, what? What are you trying to do to me? He goes, I'm in your head. He is trying to rattle me every time I tee off. He may not talk, but he will talk a little before and a little bit after. And he'll like, don't hit the ball out on the, we play at Moffett Field a lot, and there's a runway. He'll go, don't hit the ball out on the tarmac. Planes, that ball might go in one of the engines and explode it. Don't want to do it. Don't even think about it. This is constant. And I'm, of course, going along, just being a nice guy. I'm just trying to be graceful in winning every time. And, but, I mean, it's nonstop. This guy is, seriously, though, he is so competitive. And it's so much fun to play with him. And we've gotten to know each other a lot better over the last 6 months that we've been playing, 5 months, whatever it is. And we're playing tomorrow, and he's buying me breakfast in the morning. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most. Seriously, though, I have enjoyed watching him play, coach, for I don't know how many years. 1969 we graduated, so do the math. I've watched him coach almost every year since then. I've gone to hundreds and hundreds of Stanford's games. And I sit with Tom Dutton behind home plate most of the time, and that is so much fun. I get to watch 9 pace in the dugout, pace back and forth, cheering. He doesn't cheer for me, but I love the fact that he cheered for his kids. Congratulations, 9. It's been an honor to know you. We have a little gift to give out, and I want Jim Darby to come up here. Jim Darby from Easton Sports. Where are you, Jim? You're in my car tonight, man. You gotta come up here. There you go. All right.
Well, I think on behalf of everybody here, I didn't know I was going to speak, so I'll make this very short. But Mark, Huddy called me and said, hey, is there anything we can make up for Mark that would symbolize really what he means to college baseball and baseball certainly here in the Valley. So why don't you come on up, and this is for you. And it takes too long to read everything on it, but it took, I'll tell you, our guys down at Easton who put this together, they were cursing me, man. They were saying, how much more can we put on about this guy? But it's pretty cool. If after the dinner, if you all get a chance, you might want to take a look at it because it really tells you who Mark Marquess is. So Mark, congratulations. By the way, when Chris says he gets on him about golf, he really does. It's pretty funny to watch. Okay, Mark, are we ready? Mark, it's your turn.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Bradford. Oh, God. You know, I used to think I was a pretty good athlete, but I'd have better luck. I told everybody, "What do you play golf?" I said, "No, I'm going to play golf when I get old." Well, I've gotten old, and I would be better if the darn ball was moving. I thought I had enough money to retire, but if I have to keep buying Bradford breakfast and lunch, I'm going to have to find another job here pretty soon. But thanks a lot, Chris. You told me you had him speaking. I knew I was in trouble. It's late. I want to thank the Hot Stove Committee for this award. It means a lot to me. I'd like to congratulate the other award winners. Outstanding group. Great to hear them talk about their experiences. Just briefly, whatever your profession is, whether it's coaching or whatever, there's always somebody that helps you along, okay? Element of having some talent, but it's also luck and timing. And the older you get, the more you realize that. I was able to do my entire coaching career, 46 years, 5 as an assistant coach and 41 as a head coach at Stanford University, my alma mater. It was very, very special. And I really owe that, my coaching profession, getting into coaching, to 2 gentlemen. Number 1, Ray Young. Ray Young was really my mentor. I played for Ray for 2 seasons at Stanford, and then he hired me as his assistant, and I was Ray's assistant for 5 years. Ray Young went into administration, and he somehow convinced the athletic director at that time, Joe Ritz, that I should get the job as head coach to replace him. I was 28 years old. 28 years old. You know, I don't know. Dean Stotts and I, we don't know what the heck we're doing. We did it together. The other gentleman that was instrumental in my coaching career was Dutch Ferring. Dutch Ferring was a Hall of Fame legendary coach at Stanford. I played for Dutch for 1 year, and he was very involved in USA Baseball. He got me involved in USA Baseball. I coached 3 USA teams, highlighted by coaching the '88 Olympic team in Seoul, Korea. Then after that, after coaching, then he got me involved. I was president of USA Baseball for 8 years. What a tremendous experience for me. Luck. Just people helping me in the coaching profession. So I have those 2 gentlemen to thank. Again, everybody has that in their career. Somebody willing to reach out, and you got to run with it when you get the opportunity. One of the things you learn as a coach, as you become a head coach, you're only as good as your assistants. And you've met some of these assistants tonight. And I had the best assistant coaches any head coach could have over a 41-year period of time. Dean Stotts was together. We were together for 37 years. Tom Dutton, legendary college pitching coach. I think Tom worked together for 20 years. Used to room together. God, great coach. Then replaced pitching coach with Tom Kunis for 8 years, and then Rusty Filter, 2 fantastic pitching coaches. Then some other coaches. Dave Esker was an assistant coach. Dave Nakama coached at San Jose State. Mark O'Brien, Brock Ungrich, Ryan Garko, John Karsich. That's not clear. Great coaches. You're only as good as your assistant coaches. And then as a coach, as coaches, if you're honest with yourself, you like to think you really have an impact on the game, but really, it's about players. You're only as good as your players. We have some pretty darn good players come through Stanford University over that 41 years. Unbelievable. Major league players, great players. And I must thank the parents of all those players for entrusting their sons in my care for those 4 years. Not just to develop their baseball talents, but to develop them as young men. To be good husbands, good fathers. I took that very seriously, and I know all my coaches took that very seriously. And hopefully, we did a good job. There's 2 other people that weren't coaches, weren't assistant coaches. One of them, Kathy Wolf, her sister Betsy, and Gretchen are here tonight. Her aunt Ellie, thanks for coming. And I thank the Hot Stove for the Kathy Wolf Award. It means a lot to everybody connected with Stanford. Beloved by everyone in Stanford athletics, especially Stanford baseball. We all miss her, but she was a special part. And my wife, we got married, and I started coaching right after we got married. And those of you that are wives of coaches, you know how difficult that can be. Thank you, Susan, for everything, and everything you've done for our family and for me. It's a special time. In closing, been a long night. I'd like to wish all of the coaches and the players the very best of luck during your 2018 season. And I want to remind the coaches, it's very important to remind you of this. You are the teachers. You are the educators of your young athletes. You're going to teach them lifetime skills that they will have for the rest of their life. Not talking about baseball skills. The hard work, the discipline, the teamwork. You do that. They will remember that. believe me, they will remember it. Players, baseball is a fantastic game. It's a great game. We all have that dream. We should play baseball. Play in the backyard, you play Little League, you play college, whatever, you're playing in the big leagues. You're facing that pitcher. And then you realize the odds of that happening aren't very great. Not many guys make it to the big leagues. But love that journey. Love pursuing that dream. But do not neglect your education. As a parent and as a coach, do not neglect that education. That's critical. Do them both. You can do them both. Get that college degree. And then have somebody help you like they helped me in whatever career you decide. Again, thank you all. Very special night for me and for my wife Susan, our grandson Wyatt. Okay? Thank you all. Thank you. Hot Stove. Great evening. Have a great year.